How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Christmas morning Nashville RV bombing. Now, before I even get into it, I do live in Tennessee, but I'm about 2 hours away in East Tennessee. This happened in Nashville, which is in Central Tennessee. So I was not affected by this in any kind of way, except for maybe an AT&T outage, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure if they're connected or whatever, but after the bombing happened, there was no AT&T service where I live. So if you have a cell phone with an AT&T SIM card in it, you could not use it at all. Just trying to use your data, it just wasn't working. Inside your house, outside, it didn't matter. It didn't work. But I digress. The whole point is that I was not affected physically by this. I'm good. But let's get into what actually happened here and talk about those that were affected. Now, there was an RV that pulled up right in downtown Nashville at about 1:30 a.m. Christmas morning. And there was a call of shots fired that was reported to the police after that. Okay, the bomb went off at about 6:30 a.m. The RV got there at 1:30 a.m. So in between that period of time, there was some gunshots heard. The police were called, and then the police came out there. Now, when the police got out there, they heard this message.
All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now.
And if you couldn't hear that, that was what appears to be a recording that says, if you can hear this, evacuate now. So when the police get there and they hear that, they go door to door evacuating people. And shout out to all the officers that did that, because they were most certainly in harm's way. Absolutely in harm's way, but they were able to get people out of the particular area and get them to safety. I don't think anyone was killed by the blast that happened to be in the immediate area, although there were 3 injuries and they got sent to the hospital, but nobody was killed. There was some human remains found near the area, but I think that might have been the driver of the RV, because one thing that I've not witnessed, I've not seen anything reported on or anything of the sort, is the RV pulling up and then somebody getting out. You understand? So if the RV pulls up, it's probably not some kind of self-driving car. It's somebody inside the car. So if somebody's inside the car, they have to be able to get out because the bomb was in the car, right? But I don't think anybody actually got out. They probably were inside the vehicle the whole time. That's just my guess based upon what I've seen and what I've not seen so far. But what I do know is that the RV pulls up 1:30. At 6:30, the bomb goes off, right? Luckily, people were able to get evacuated and everything was all good. Okay. Now, as far as the shots fired, that could have also been a recording from the same vehicle. I don't know if it was or if it wasn't, but if not for the shots fired call, I don't think anybody would have come down there to investigate this vehicle to get people out of their houses or wherever they were living that's close by the area. So nobody was killed, although I think one guy's tattoo shop was torn up, and the immediate damage in the area was crazy. I don't know what kind of bomb that was, but it was a lot of damage. You're talking about like an IED type level devastation. It was pretty bad. You're looking like Iraq, Baghdad, third world country type stuff. It was pretty serious. All right. Now, I don't think it was a terror attack, because in a terror attack, the whole point is to hurt people. So you're not going to say evacuate now and try to warn people and get them out of the area. That goes against the whole idea of a terror attack. This was probably a suicide and also just, a grab for attention, trying to go out in the blaze of glory, trying to get a lot of people, if there's some kind of a manifesto that's found after this, I would not be surprised. If there was something that this person, whoever did this, wanted people to see, if that came out in a short period of time, I would not be surprised. That it made sense. It's like, okay, you did this, you got a lot of attention. Now they want to dig into your past and find out who you are and all this and that. It's just like things that happened before, where you see somebody that'll post something on social media before they do something that says, well, I'm not part of any kind of group, all this, that, and the third, because they have a whole plan to get attention for themselves and become some kind of martyr or something like that. But as far as a terror attack, I don't think so. Now, the reaction to this has kind of been, I won't say weird, but weird from certain places. The mayor, John Cooper, had kind of a strange reaction.
Everything and make sure that, this is the only explosion that's going to happen in Nashville today. and The dramatic thing, if you were closer, is the broken water mains do lend a certain drama to the scene, for sure. So all that, it's again, it's a hard thing, but that's why I'm feeling calm. Is a little loaded to ask this question, but why? Well, we are in a famous place, and
now you heard that. Some are going to say, hey, ABL, maybe he was nervous because you had a bombing. He doesn't really know how to react. It's kind of a normal human emotion with all the laughing and the yucks, all this and that. And the third, okay, maybe that makes sense. But I know about this guy, John Cooper. I did a video on him earlier this year. Remember when he shut down Nashville? And if you don't, I'll give you a brief recap and then we'll talk about him a little bit more. But earlier this year, like right around summertime, he shut down Nashville bars and restaurants. They had different levels of openness that they have. So he had the city closed because of the virus or whatever. And then he briefly reopened it in the summertime. Now, when they reopened it, you had bars and restaurants open. So Nashville, it's a big tourism city. You know, you got the Grand Ole Opry, you got the Nashville sports teams. You got the NHL team, the Predators, the Tennessee Titans play right there in downtown Nashville. So it's a big tourism place. Bars, restaurants are a key part of the city. There's a lot of ancillary business that is open as a result of all the tourism, bars, restaurants, or whatever. So it's very important to be able to serve food, alcohol, or whatever in Nashville, especially right there downtown Davidson County, right? But anyway, he opens restaurants, so they're getting prepared for 4th of July, right? It's right around late June when it reopens. So they're getting ready for the big rush. Holiday weekend, they're stocking up food, beverages, the whole 9 yards. And then he closes it again right like July 3rd. So all this food and whatnot they had prepared to serve to guests coming in from all over the country just went to waste because they couldn't stay open due to what the mayor, John Cooper, did. Now, rumor has it that the only reason why he opened to begin with for that short period of time that he opened was because his son was graduating high school. So, okay, son's graduating, you got to have a commencement, all this and that. And the third, cool. Well, we're open for his son's graduation, but right after that, we're closed yet again. And then it was all kind of false information that they used to close the city down. Talking about, well, the restaurants are a big part of where the virus is coming from. And they said it was all these cases that came from there, and that wasn't right. And there's a bunch of evidence where they were going back and forth in emails, trying to withhold that information. It was a whole big mess. I did a video about that. I'll place it in the description box below if you want to see it and read all my info for yourself. But it was crazy. This guy, John Cooper, is a nut. And once you have that information and that backstory about him, what he said and did on camera kind of makes a little bit more sense. You know, all the laughing and, he-heing, it kind of just puts it in perspective. Something's wrong with this guy in a really serious way. Okay, not just the laughing, but also the thing that he did with the virus. You know, either way it goes, I think this is more of a suicide case than anything else. I've heard some theories on the internet. So I've heard about missiles coming down and it's kind of a clandestine operation. It's a distraction away from the election, alleged, quote unquote, alleged election fraud. So I don't really know anything about anything else, any kind of other things that could have happened here, things that could have resulted in all the devastation. I don't know anything about that. I don't even know what kind of bomb was used in the RV. I have no idea. All that I do know was that RV pulls up 1:30 a.m. and about 5 hours later, the bomb goes off. A lot of devastation, but luckily no deaths as far as I know, except for possibly whoever was inside the vehicle. Now, it could have been one person. It could have been more than one person. I have no idea. No way of knowing. It's still pretty early right now as of December 26, 2020. But I think we'll learn more as days and weeks progress. Like I said, they'll probably trace that RV back to an owner or somebody that might have been driving it. You might have family come out and say, oh, this person, they were a good guy. I would never think they would do a thing like this. You probably see things like that come about over the next few days and weeks. Maybe a manifesto will come out and you'll be able to read that and see why the person did what they did. But I don't think it's a terror attack. Because like I said, a terror attack, the whole point is to kill people, to hurt people, as many as possible. like the World Trade Center thing, you had thousands that died. The Boston bomber, people that were just running the race got hurt, killed, or whatever. So that's usually the purpose behind a terror attack. This one appears to be more for attention than anything else. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that this was a terror attack? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Was it a suicide? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. What other reason could this have happened aside from what I said? Could it have been some type of insurance fraud? Because I heard that too. They were saying, well, maybe somebody did that to damage their business so they can cash out because, that might be a thing because we got all the stuff going on with the virus. Places are being shut down. They can't be open or they're halfway open according to the mayor, John Cooper. And, it's that could be what's going on, but I have no idea. All that I do know right now is that there were minimal injuries, no deaths as far as any kind of innocent person. Maybe somebody was inside the RV. Maybe they died. I don't know about that. But as far as anyone outside that RV, nobody died. So hats off to the officers who put themselves in harm's way to evacuate local residences, businesses, or whatever to make sure everybody was good to go. They were successful in their endeavor. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.